There's a moment most women don't talk about. Not a fall. Not a diagnosis. It's something slower than that. Something that doesn't hurt. It just quietly stops being easy. Standing up from a low chair, groceries that used to feel light. Pausing at the top of the stairs before taking the first step. Glancing down at the curb before stepping off it. None of it feels like an emergency. That's exactly why it's dangerous. I've worked with women in functional movement for over 2 decades, and what I've seen, again and again, is this. Independence doesn't end with a single moment. It erodes, slowly, silently, through muscles no one told you needed attention until they were already fading. Today, that changes. 3 exercises, no gym, no equipment. And the most important insight of all, I'm saving it for the end. But first, tell me in the comments, how old are you and where in the world are you watching from? We read every single one. Now, let's talk about what's actually happening inside your body after 60. Because once you understand this, these exercises stop feeling like homework and start feeling like the most logical thing you could possibly do. After 60, your body begins losing muscle at a rate that most people are never warned about. The term is sarcopenia, gradual, progressive muscle loss, and it doesn't announce itself. It whispers. A little less strength here, a little less stability there. And because it happens slowly, it's easy to chalk up to just getting older. But that framing is dangerous because it implies nothing can be done. And that's simply not true. At the same time, bone density is declining. The two are connected. Muscle pulls on bone, and that mechanical tension is one of the primary signals that tells bone to stay dense and alive. Remove the tension, and the bone responds accordingly. This is not inevitable decline. This is a communication problem, and the right exercises restore that communication. Walking is wonderful. Please keep walking. But walking alone will not stop this process. It doesn't load the bones the way they need to be loaded. It doesn't target the deep, stabilizing muscles that protect your hips and pelvis. It doesn't train your nervous system to react when balance is suddenly challenged. For that, you need resistance. You need intention. You need these 3 movements. Let's start with number 1. This first exercise is one I come back to again and again because it is the single most functional strength movement a woman over 60 can do. And almost everyone underestimates it. Not because it looks hard, but because it looks familiar. Like something you already do every day. Which is exactly why it matters. The movement is the sit to stand, rising from a chair using nothing but your own legs. Think about how many times a day that happens. Getting up from the breakfast table, rising from the car seat. Standing up from the couch at night. Each time you do it with momentum, rocking forward, pushing with your hands, letting your body fall into the movement rather than control it. You're spending a little more of a reserve you haven't been actively refilling, and reserves run out. The muscles doing this work, or supposed to be doing this work, are your quadriceps, your glutes, your deep hip stabilizers, and your core. Together, they form the foundation of your lower body independence. When they're strong, you rise easily, steadily, without thinking. When they begin to fade, your nervous system compensates by using whatever it can, momentum, your hands, the edge of the table. And those compensations mask the loss until one day they don't. Here's how to do this correctly. Place a sturdy chair behind you. Stand with your feet about hip-width apart, toes pointing forward or just slightly out. Feel the weight distributed evenly across both feet. Not in your toes, not in your heels, but through your whole foot. Take a breath in and gently engage your core. Not a forceful brace, just an awakening, like you're preparing for something, because you are. Now, slowly lower yourself toward the chair. Your hips move first and back. Your chest stays lifted. Don't let it collapse forward. Bend your knees naturally as you descend. Take 3 full seconds to lower. Lightly touch the seat. Don't land on it, don't sink into it, and then press through your heels and rise over 2 seconds. Stand tall at the top. Shoulders back, knees soft, breathing steady. 8 repetitions. Rest for a moment. 1 more set. That is genuinely enough. 3 to 4 days a week. If balance feels uncertain, stand near a wall or have a chair nearby you can hover a hand over. Not gripping, just close enough to reassure your nervous system that it's safe to practice. Progression is simple. When 8 feels manageable, move to 10. When 10 feels easy, slow the descent to 4 seconds. That extra time under tension is where the real strength and bone adaptation happens. It doesn't require more weight, it requires more control. This movement trains the exact pattern your body needs to recover from a stumble. It loads the femur and hip, 2 of the most fracture-prone areas in women over 60. And perhaps more importantly than anything I can say clinically, it gives you something back. The ability to stand up, fully, under your own power, without asking your hands for help. That's not a small thing. For a lot of women, it's everything. If you watched that and thought, I do use my hands, every time, that's not a failure. That's the most important data point you've gotten today. And it's exactly why you're here. Now, exercise number 2, targets. Something walking never touches. Something that most fitness advice completely ignores. And it's the reason so many women who feel reasonably fit still feel unsteady on their feet. Stay with me, because this one changes things. The second exercise is the standing side leg raise. And I want you to hold off on any reaction about how simple it sounds, because what it protects is not simple at all. Most people think of balance as a front-to-back thing. They practice not falling forward. What they don't practice, what almost no one practices, is lateral stability. Balance when your body is challenged from the side. A dog cutting across your path. A shopping cart nudging your hip. A gust of wind on an open street. These are sideways events, and they require lateral strength to recover from. The muscles responsible for that recovery are the gluteus medius and gluteus minimus, 2 muscles most people couldn't name, but that every movement specialist pays close attention to. They live on the outer hip, and their job is to keep your pelvis level when you're walking on one leg, which, if you think about it, is every single step you take. Every step is a moment of single-leg support. If those muscles are weak, the pelvis dips slightly with each step. That dip accumulates into altered gait, uneven joint loading, chronic hip strain, and a reduced ability to catch yourself when something unexpected happens. Here's how to do it. Stand next to a counter or the back of a sturdy chair. One hand rests lightly on the surface, not gripping, just there. Your standing leg is straight but not locked. Your torso is upright, no leaning to the side to compensate. That's cheating the muscle out of its work. Slowly lift the outside leg out to the side. You don't need to go high. 12 to 15 inches is ideal. Keep your toes pointing forward, not rotating up toward the ceiling. That rotation is very common, and it shifts the work away from the muscles you're targeting. Lift for 2 seconds, pause at the top for just a breath, then lower slowly for 3 seconds. The slow lowering is where a significant portion of the strength work happens. 8 repetitions, switch sides. 1 to 2 sets. 3 days a week. You'll feel it on the outer hip, not the thigh, not the lower back. If you feel it in the wrong place, reduce the range and focus on keeping your torso completely still. Progression. More reps first, then a slower lowering phase, then eventually trying it without holding on when you feel genuinely ready. No rushing that last step. The goal is not to remove the support dramatically, it's to knead it less naturally over time. What this exercise does, over weeks of consistent practice, is restore the quiet confidence of walking. Not the forced confidence of telling yourself you're fine, the real kind, where your body handles unexpected shifts without your conscious mind needing to intervene. Women who do this movement regularly describe feeling more planted, more settled on their feet, like the ground is more reliable. That's not imagination, that's neuromuscular adaptation, and it's available to you at any age. We've now covered the muscles that lift you and the muscles that stabilize you side to side. But there's one more system, the one that operates faster than any muscle, faster than any conscious decision. And it's the one that determines whether a stumble becomes a fall or a recovery. The third exercise trains that system directly, and it's the most quietly powerful of the 3. Exercise number 3 is single leg standing. And before you move past that, let me tell you what it actually is, because it's not what most people think. This is not a balance test. It's not about how long you can stand on one foot as a measure of how fit you are. This is a training stimulus for your proprioceptive system, your body's internal GPS. The network of sensors in your muscles, joints, and feet that tells your brain where you are in space, in real time, without you needing to look. That system is what catches you when you trip. It's faster than thought. It's faster than intention. And like any system that isn't used, it gets slower with age, unless you practice it. When proprioception declines, reaction time declines with it. And reaction time is the variable that separates a stumble from a fall. Here's how to do this safely. Stand near a sturdy surface, one hand hovering close, not gripping, just available. Shift your weight onto one foot and feel the full surface of your foot in contact with the floor. The heel, the ball, the outer edge, all of it. That contact is information your nervous system is already using. Slowly lift the other foot just a few inches off the ground. You don't need height, you need time. Keep your gaze forward and steady. A fixed point on the wall helps. Breathe normally. Don't hold your breath. That actually reduces balance performance. Hold for 10 seconds. Lower the foot gently. Switch sides. 3 rounds per side. If 10 seconds isn't there yet, start with 5. That's not a modification. That's an honest starting point. And honest starting points lead to real progress. As the seconds become easy, move to 15, then 20. When 20 feels solid, you can try closing your eyes for a few seconds, but only when your open eye balance is genuinely stable, not before. Why does this exercise earn its place as the third and final movement in this sequence? Because it trains what the other 2 cannot. Strength and stability give your body the tools. Proprioception gives your body the speed to use them when it counts. A strong woman who trips and catches herself, that catch happens in the proprioceptive system. The window is about 150 to 200 milliseconds. You cannot think your way through that. You can only train your way through it. And there's something else. This exercise has a way of being brutally honest. If you try it and find it harder than you expected, That information is valuable. Not discouraging, valuable. Because what you've discovered is the exact gap this exercise fills. And it fills it quickly, with consistent practice. Now let me bring all three together. The sit to stand trains the muscles that keep you upright and independent. The side leg raise stabilizes the pelvis and protects your balance from lateral challenges. The single leg stand trains the nervous system to respond automatically when balance is disrupted. Together, they address the three systems most responsible for falls, fractures, and loss of independence in women over 60. And they do it without equipment, without a gym membership, without exhaustion. Minutes, a few days a week, done with intention. Now, the insight I promised you at the beginning, the one that makes all of this actually work. It's not a fourth exercise, it's not a supplement or a protocol. It's a timing truth that most people ignore. The women who benefit most from these movements are not the ones who do them when things feel bad. They're the ones who start before things feel bad. Muscle responds to training at every age. That part is well established. But the response is faster, fuller, and more durable when you begin from a place of relative strength, not from a place of significant loss. Every week of consistent movement now is building a buffer, a reserve, a margin of safety between where you are and where things get harder. The title of this video says, "Most women start too late." I don't mean that as a warning you've missed your window. I mean it as an invitation. Because if you're watching this, you haven't. The window is open. The biology is ready. Your body is listening. Start this week, not perfectly, not with all three at once if that feels like too much. Pick one. Do it 3 times this week. Let your body remember what it's capable of. And tell me in the comments, which of these 3 are you starting with? I read every response, and I'd genuinely love to know. If this kind of clear, calm, science-grounded content is what you're looking for, Active Longevity is here for that. Subscribe if you'd like more. No pressure, just consistent support when you're ready for it. Your body is not done adapting. It's waiting for the right signal. Give it one.